The Jews produced Einstein, who, for better or worse, was a very brilliant man. Imagine yourself being put on trial because you didn't understand Einstein as a child. Shifty and his apparatus are mass murderers, and they've gotten away with it. There's nobody investigating the AIDS attack except me, and I'm doing my best to document what I have found. But you have politics is dominated by the parochial, squeaky clean guy like Jay Inslee. Oh, Genocide Jay is A-OK because he stayed married to the same woman and he advocated for some liberties in Seattle. And what they did was Shifty plays games with people's ideas about things. Like they set up a one night stand with the woman who seduced me and presented that she had a roommate as though it was another woman. And then sprang the pussy ball war operation game. Oh, it was an arranged marriage to get us into the country to study in Pitt's nuclear program for Modi. And was John Schulman's gang, Saul Brecker and Leslie Katz, and the Green Party who murdered my father. So you get the Trojan parochials of Shifty and Pope Carl saying, Louis adultery man, Louis adultery man. And the Black Panthers call dibs on the symbol of life. And they start naming people in leadership positions after them in South Africa. And Mandela book says we'll let Nelson Mandela go because he's a wise owl. He's a wise owl. Cornel West won't let you get away without taking his boogies and rubbing them on you for biological linkage. I mean, these spinner beanies are pretty far out, but it's their reverie that it's super miraculous hero pass. I mean, Prince of England, Mick Jagger, all anoint their Swami Nostra. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine Miles Kirshner and Roger Waters laughing behind the revolving bookshelf of how they pulled this stuff off. On Jimmy Creed. So that what they wanted to do was demoralize the victims. They got a super Asian macho hawk come. And the queers go, wow, that's the one we like. We don't like that one who cried about being rejected by the first symbol of life, so he doesn't get the second symbol of life. And, what I did was I reached out to Maduri because of the symbolic issue of the young being betrayed. Thought maybe she would have the gumption to say something about it. And Penis Gabriel, who knows Pick, he said it's very simple. He'll seek out Maduri Goto. And Trumpy Toon was like, ha, ha, ha. And Pat Buchanan was, ha, ha, ha. Right? And they psycho bomb a poor public school girl to show that they really can do it if they want to. They really can what they call gaslight somebody into self-destruction. And so what they were claiming was that the people who believed in free love, taking care of each other's homies, trying to get acquainted, get making out, seeing if you get along, were suicide lemmings. So they demoralized the apparatus. It was easy once they got inside the machine, or the Beatles took custody of news. They talk about blackout in Bangladesh and terrible police violence. It's nothing like what the Beatles did. The Beatles are absolutely total blackout. Lethal police violence, radical right-wing totalitarian haters. And predictably, because Orwell was a doctor of psychology about Europe, and Britain in particular, they called that love. See, we exterminate you because we love you, man. And this is, their goal is to have Shifty constantly demoralizing someone who they obviously tortured. You can see neuroplasm by the simple fact that virginity doesn't prove rape, and yet they kept me out of school for decades, raping people, bombing people, ripper murdering people, standing by Shifty's claim, standing by Penis Gabriel Ripper Hatter stuff, saying Paul McCartney's penny is sacred. Yoko Ono wants that boy's grandmother's ring. And all the paintings are worth, ooh, to the goblins. And one of these people who called me when Lennon pulled his Houdini, she was always talking like Gail Burston to me. They knew the script. They both knew the script. She knew about Cliff Robertson. I met her at the governor's school. Her mother says, in war, all that matters is the art. I wasn't cognitive enough at 18 years old to understand these things. She called me a waif. But the people who launched the AIDS attack got the Ripper Hatters in Seattle, the queers in the state law, to let it happen. In other words, the fact that Egypt helped Israel massacre the children of Gaza is an Arab legacy that's profoundly revolting. The way that Seattle got the queers to help in the AIDS attack is identically revolting queer history to the Arab history of the people who went along with it. They charged thousands of dollars at the Rafah gate to let poor Gazan families get out, children who had their legs blown off get out. The queers in Seattle are the same type of movement. They can deny it all they want to. It's perfectly obvious by the fact that Gail Burston was never arrested. They put me on trial for not understanding Einstein's theories of relativity as a child. And then say, they have all this poppycock. Oh, sex is nobody. My perversions ain't your business, sonny boy. They don't, and yet they make a World War III out of a one-night stand that was misrepresented by the woman who initiated it. That's how psychopathic Seattle is. Psychopathic. They literally did that. And what's more, is the evidence shows that it was in the cinema system already. The cinema system works. A revolving door snuff film beginning with the assassination of JFK. What do you mean you don't believe that? I can prove it. I proved it to half a dozen people who said, yes, that's very serious when I showed them the evidence. Evidence is a taboo word when it comes to these people in Nazi America, these shifties. They are deadly, violent, lethal assassins playing snuff film games for the walrus, who is Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney's ingenious system of black markets goes all the way up through Bath Avon to his lair by way of the city of Pittsburgh's back alleys where I was kidnapped and tortured. That's a proven fact. These people, let me tell you something, if you're not buying this. There's some state trooper, okay? The people who wrote those letters and who kidnapped and tortured me and poisoned me were intimately tied to Milton Schaap. They took me to his office in Harrisburg. They're named in the letters. They wrote the letters. They signed the letters and illustrated the poison they used. When they wrote, the persona is subjected to successive degradations of the X motive, they did not, in other words, give me any choice. They were not taking no for an answer. As they said in their letters, they nearly killed me, forcing compliance. As a child, okay, it was the U.S. government, the state of Pennsylvania government, who did that to me as a child. And they did not take no for an answer. So you're chronically banging on about these demoralizing issues of vice, of a person who pulled himself out of your ripper hat is Nazism. Don't expect anybody to be fooled.